play the games, call the shots, and celebrate this beautiful game the way it's meant to be. Loud, proud, and a little bit crazy. Upsets, penalties, the GOAT debate that never dies, we're in it with you all the way to the final. So don't watch it alone. Bring the passion, bring the hot takes. Listen to the 1021 podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Chelsea Handler from Dear Chelsea. Every week, the news gets worse, the world gets crazier, and Yamanika is here to tell whoever's responsible, you're the problem.
If you come over here to play games, I'ma check you, okay? If you do something in the news that don't sound good, I'ma play you.
Join Yamanika Saunders as she breaks down the week's most problematic stories on her new podcast, You're the Problem, with Yamanika.
Do you know I just found out who Sydney Sweeney was?
New episodes weekly every Wednesday as part of my new network, the Dear Chelsea Network.
If he got a bunch of women, then I should have a bunch of men. Do better or do less so I don't have to do so much.
So join Yamanika each episode as she answers one question. Who's the problem?
I'm Yamanika, and I'm out. Listen to You're the Problem with Yamanika on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up, fam? I'm sports journalist Ari Chambers.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sam J.
And we're the hosts of Everyone Watches Women's Sports, a new podcast from Together and iHeart Women's Sports.
Because let's be real, women's sports is giving us way too much to talk about these days.
So Kelsey Findler, she became the first female solo rower to go from California to Hawaii.
My first thought is just like, what's up with the snacks? Like, what are we eating?
The highlights, the rivalries, the breakout stars, the moments that take over your entire timeline.
And the conversations that start during the game and somehow keep going all week. Every week, we're breaking down the biggest stories across women's sports.
Naomi Osaka showing out. She beat Sabalenka.
Shout out to you, Naomi.
You get the palm, Naomi. You get the palm for that.
Because we're not just interested in what happened, we're interested in why everyone's talking about it. Because everyone watches women's sports. Listen to Everyone Watches Women's Sports
On the iHeartRadio app,
Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Portlandia fans.
Carrie Brownstein and Fred Armisen here.
You know us, or rather you know them. Tony and Candace, Nina and Lance, Spike, and yes, the chicken.
We've played a lot of iconic characters over the years, but today we're showing up as ourselves to tell you about Podlandia, AO Rewatch, our brand new podcast.
Each week, we'll revisit an episode of Portlandia from the very beginning, breaking down the sketches, exploring the backstories of our most iconic characters, revisiting the Portland locations you know and love, and opening up about our creative process.
How did any of this get made? Why do we think that was a good idea? We're ready to talk about it.
And we'll also be joined by the people who helped bring it all to life. Guest stars, collaborators, and friends, including director Jonathan Kreisel, the mayor himself, Kyle MacLachlan, legendary musician Amy Mann, and many more.
Kyle is going for it here. You fully improvised not just words, but a song.
No, I thought he was going to write. I thought you were all going to write a song.
I remember you thinking that.
Listen to Podlandia, Ayo Rewatch on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Appreciate you joining us. Former World Cup goaltender of the U.S., Brad Gazan, joining us on behalf of Dude Wipes. When you're watching all these games and some of these stars emerge, do you have a favorite outside the U.S.? Because I feel like even though everyone's Team USA, people are about Mbappe and Holland. And some of these guys sort of like steal your attention. Did you have a favorite player from another team this tournament?
Well, I mean, I think, being 41 years old, being a former goalkeeper, I don't know if you guys followed, but Cape Verde and the goalkeeper for them, Vicenia, was absolutely unbelievable. And he put in man-of-the-match performance after performance after performance. And he stood on his head, the way he carried himself, the way he continues to carry himself. I love the fact that he's 40 years old and still doing the business on the world stage. And listen, a lot of these players, they wouldn't have had the opportunity to be at this World Cup if it wasn't for the expansion of the field in terms of, just opening up the tournament to so many more teams. And so when you look at a team like Cape Verde and their fan base and how small of a country they are to then go and do what they've done throughout the summer, it was inspiring. And like I said, Vicenia, I think his Instagram followers went
How crazy was that, right?
He's north of like 18 million at this point. He started the tournament with like 40,000.
Yeah, he went from
wild,
like 50,000 or whatever to like 150 million, like crazy.
Brad Gazan hanging with Covino and Rich on behalf of Dude Wipes.
Yeah.
You know, what's crazy is you watch when overtime, no one scores. You know, we're not guys that know all the rules of different levels of soccer. But I feel like as a guy that will casually watch, nothing like the penalty, like the shootout at the end. As a goalkeeper, is the stress on you?
That's why the guys Dude Wipes,
Yeah,
bro.
I was gonna say, is the stress on you or the guys trying to make the kick? And I do wonder, Brad, how much of it is, because listen, I feel like an ass even asking, but how much of it is a guessing game versus you knowing their tendencies? Like when you're watching, it's like, oh shit, he dives this way, goes this way. Like, give us the breakdown of the guessing versus knowing. Like, what are we looking at?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're doing your homework, you're studying film and tape, and you can watch the last 20 penalties of every player. You take down little notes, maybe put on the water bottle or what have you, right? And so a little cheat code. But at the same time, players are so good at disguising. You know, the last 10 penalties, they go left, and now all of a sudden they see you lean a little bit, you know, to your right, to their left, and they switch it up at the last second. And so they have the ability to do that. And as a goalkeeper, you know, the side that you decide to go to, you try to go with everything you have so that if you end up picking the right side, you give yourself half a chance to then go and make the save, right? And it's a huge psychology game. And, you know, the more pressure as a goalkeeper you can put on the shooter and the taker, the better it is. Because we saw some world-class players take penalties and miss penalties, and not just miss penalties really badly. And I'm talking not even hit the target. And so, you know, we watched Messi missed 2 penalties throughout this tournament, not necessarily in a shootout, but in regular time.